Have you ever felt like you're fighting against a part of yourself you can't control? As if something inside you wants to move forward, but another part pulls you back. That silent, uncomfortable feeling that shows up when no one is watching you. How curious. We all feel it, yet almost no one can explain it. What few people know is that this inner conflict is not a mistake. It's a call you ignore. And every time you ignore it, it weighs more. Today I'm going to show you why that inner voice feels so strong and how you can turn it into your greatest guide. But even more important, I'm going to teach you what no one ever explained: how to regain your clarity when your mind becomes a maze. Stay until the end if you want to understand what your future self is trying to tell you. Because yes, even if you don't believe it, what you feel is not strange or abnormal. It's human, and it has a purpose. If you've ever felt like your head is running while your life is standing still, like your thoughts stack up faster than you can manage, I understand you. That feeling of living in a tomorrow that doesn't exist yet. That mental exhaustion that shows up, even when you haven't done anything physically. That knot in your chest that follows you for no clear reason. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're living without listening to yourself. And that's exhausting, I know, because it happens to all of us. Sometimes you wake up and you already feel behind. You feel like life is going too fast, like you don't know if you're keeping up, like you should be more, have more, accomplish more. And that internal noise becomes a constant reminder that you still aren't who you want to be. But here's what no one tells you: that discomfort isn't punishment. It's a compass. And if you learn how to read it, it can completely change your life. Let me take you to something very few people understand. Most of our problems come from two places: living in the past or living in the future. Everything that drains you, everything that speeds you up, everything that weighs on you, comes from there. The mind drags you to times where you no longer exist, or where you don't exist yet. Meanwhile, you ignore the only thing that is real: this moment. The problem isn't that you think too much. The problem is that you think in places where you can't do anything. This is where the transformation begins. Your mind is powerful, yes, but it is also dramatic. It shows you scenarios that almost never happen. It repeats phrases that don't come from you. It makes you feel like the world is on fire when you're simply tired, overwhelmed, or disconnected from yourself. And to break that cycle, you need three things: presence, awareness, and action. First, presence. Most mental chaos comes from forgetting where you are right now. Breathe. It sounds simple, but it's the last thing we do. Inhale deeply and exhale slower. Every long exhale is a signal your body sends your brain. A message that says, we are not in danger. The mind follows the body. Calm your body, and your mind stops screaming. Then, awareness. This means observing your mind instead of fighting with it. When a thought comes that accelerates you, ask yourself, is what I'm imagining real in this moment? If it's not real now, it doesn't deserve your energy now. That single question will give you more control than any motivational advice. And then comes the most important part: action. Action is the medicine your mind doesn't want to take, but it's the only one that works. When you stay still, your mind invents problems. When you move, your mind aligns. Action breaks anxiety. Movement frees you. There is something else many ignore. Your thoughts grow bigger when they live only in your mind. That's why writing is so powerful. You don't need to be a writer. You just need to be honest. Put your fears on a page. When you see them outside your head, they lose strength. When you analyze them, you find solutions. And what yesterday seemed immense, today becomes manageable. Gratitude also changes everything. Not the superficial gratitude of repeating empty phrases, but conscious gratitude. Close your eyes and think of something you have today that you won't always have. People, moments, opportunities. The simple act of breathing without pain. When you value what is already here, your mind stops chasing what hasn't arrived yet. And yes, there is a hard but liberating truth. Each day could be your last. I don't say this to scare you. I say it because understanding it changes the way you breathe, the way you speak, the way you choose. When you remember how fragile life is, you stop giving importance to what doesn't matter. You stop fighting battles that don't matter. You stop running toward a future that only steals your present. Perfect. Now the script continues here. Same voice, same style, same structure, simply extended even further, without closing yet. I'll keep the fluency so you can attach it seamlessly to the previous text. And there's something else you need to hear. Something almost nobody mentions, but that completely defines the way you live your days. Your mind doesn't speak to you only through thoughts. It speaks through sensations, through discomfort, through tiredness, through that strange emptiness in your chest that appears without warning. But instead of listening, you avoid it. You cover it with distractions, with screens, with noise, with activities that fill time but don't fill your life. And the more you avoid it, the louder it screams. What you feel is not accidental. It's your inner compass trying to correct the path you abandoned. When you ignore what bothers you, it doesn't disappear. It transforms. It becomes anxiety. It becomes apathy. It becomes that silent pain that appears when you're alone. And that's where many people believe they are failing. But no. On the contrary, that is the exact point where your transformation begins. There's a pattern that repeats in everyone who feels lost. They live seeking external signs and forget the most important one, the internal one. You try to be enough for others, to meet expectations that aren't yours, to move along paths you didn't even want to walk. And there, in that emotional disorder, lies the weight you've been feeling for months, maybe years. But listen to this calmly. You don't need to reinvent your life in one day. You need something much simpler and infinitely more powerful. You need to return to yourself, to what you really feel, to what truly matters to you, to what makes you vibrate, not what makes you fit in. And here is where many get confused. They think returning to oneself is a mystical or complicated process. Not at all. Returning to yourself begins with small pauses, with silence, with observing who you are without noise, with asking yourself something you almost never ask. What am I ignoring about myself? That is the question that opens doors. Because when you start listening to yourself, you start organizing your life. And when your life becomes organized, your mind finally breathes. Let me tell you something maybe no one has told you. Your mind doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to warn you. It wants to tell you that you're exhausted, that you're postponing what you know you need to face, that you need to let go of something you've been carrying for too long, that you're living with an outdated version of yourself that no longer matches who you are now. And until you face it, the discomfort will keep knocking until you listen. This is where clarity begins to appear. You notice that your thoughts aren't enemies, they're messengers. You notice that your anxiety isn't punishment, it's a calling. You notice that what weighs you down is not your reality, it's your resistance to changing it. And when you reach that understanding, something inside you begins to settle. Not everything gets fixed at once, but something unlocks. The mind stops running, the body stops fighting, the soul stops begging for help, and you, for the first time in a long time, Feel a minimum trace of calm. That calm is the sign that you're returning to your center. Now listen carefully. Every time you choose a small act of honesty, anxiety loses power. Every time you choose a small act of presence, life becomes lighter. Every time you do something you've been avoiding, you feel something inside regain strength. Big changes don't come from big decisions. They come from small truths you stop ignoring. Repeat this silently. I don't have to do everything. I just have to begin. Because the truth is, you are not far from the life you want. You're simply far from the version of yourself that needs to live it. And that version doesn't appear out of nowhere. You build it. With decisions, with pauses, with courage, with presence. Let me take you deeper into this because you need it. Your mind needs to trust you again. It needs to see that you make decisions that protect you, that you speak to yourself with respect, that you give yourself space, that you move forward even when you're afraid. Because when your mind sees that you choose yourself, it stops fighting you. And when it stops fighting you, you can finally move forward without heaviness. And here comes one of the most liberating truths. Inner chaos doesn't disappear when you fix everything outside. It disappears when you become honest with yourself. When you stop lying about what matters to you, about what you want, about what hurts you. When you stop living to be accepted and start living to be authentic. And now that you're entering this clarity, you need to understand something fundamental. You cannot build a new life with the same mind that created your chaos. You need a lighter, more aware, more present mind. And that doesn't come from thinking differently. It comes from acting differently. It comes from micro changes your future self will thank you for. Many people believe transformation happens with giant decisions, but the truth is different. Transformation happens in the invisible. It happens when you choose not to respond to a thought that sabotages you. It happens when you take a deep breath instead of reacting impulsively. It happens when you get up even without motivation. It happens when instead of punishing yourself for what you feel, you simply observe it without running. The mind changes with small habits, not long speeches. And here's something that might surprise you. Most of the anxiety you feel doesn't come from your life. It comes from your expectations. You expect too much from yourself in too little time. You want to heal everything, fix everything, improve everything now. And when you can't, you blame yourself. You treat yourself as if you're failing at something basic. But you're not failing. You're growing. And growing hurts. Growing confuses. Growing requires silence and chaos. Nobody told you that growing also feels like getting lost. Because the old no longer works, and the new hasn't arrived yet. And in that empty space, your mind panics. It wants certainty, control, guarantees. But real life doesn't work that way. Life moves when you move. Life aligns when you align. Nothing outside changes until something inside does. That's why it's so important to understand this. Every thought that bothers you is revealing a part of yourself that wants to be seen. Don't suppress it. Don't hide behind noise. Don't run to distractions that only numb what you should face with courage. Do this. When something hurts, feel it. When something scares you, question it. When something unsettles you, write it down. When something confuses you, breathe through it. Don't judge it. Don't push it away. Don't cover it. Emotions don't heal by running from them. They heal by understanding them. And as you do this, something magical begins to happen. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop exploding inside. You start understanding yourself. You stop fighting your mind. You start working with it. And in that subtle but profound shift, a light appears that you had never seen before. That light is your inner strength awakening. Your thoughts start losing their drama. Your body stops being in alert mode all the time. Your decisions no longer come from fear, but from clarity. And even when heavy days still show up, they don't scare you the same way, because now you know you are not your anxiety. You are not your doubt. You are not your internal noise. You are the one who observes them. And when you observe them, you understand them. When you understand them, you transform them. This is where your life begins to take shape. You start making choices that once felt impossible. You stop chasing approval. You start chasing yourself. You stop carrying old stories. You start writing new ones. You stop shrinking to fit. You start expanding to exist. And the more you choose yourself, the clearer the path becomes. Because clarity is not found outside. Clarity is born the moment you stop betraying yourself. And now everything begins to make sense. Because when you start listening to yourself, you begin to notice a pattern that was there your whole life, but you never saw clearly. Every time you ignored your emotions, your body spoke for you. Every time you repressed a thought, your mind multiplied it. Every time you avoided a decision, your life got stuck. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't weakness. It was disconnection. And now you're beginning to reconnect. Think about this. Anxiety doesn't come from not knowing what to do. It comes from knowing and not doing it. It comes from feeling which path to take and postponing it. It comes from carrying inside a truth you fear facing. Anxiety is not an enemy that appears randomly. It's an ally that appears when you are betraying yourself. And yes, it hurts, but it also guides. And guidance is always worth more than the pain. That's why you're here. Because you no longer want to put out internal fires with external excuses. You don't want to live based on others' expectations. You don't want to keep carrying the weight of a life that feels borrowed. What you truly want is to return to yourself. Return to your truth. Return to your center. Return to breathing without fear. And here's the powerful part. When you begin to listen, your inner world begins to align. Anxiety becomes information, not condemnation. Thoughts stop being threats. Your emotions stop being enemies. Everything becomes clearer, simpler, lighter. Let me tell you something many people discover too late. True peace doesn't come when you stop having problems. It comes when you stop running, when you face things, when you understand, when you take action. Peace is not the absence of chaos. It's becoming so strong internally that the chaos no longer defines you. And that begins with small acts of daily courage. Every time you choose action instead of postponing. Every time you choose breathing instead of self-criticism. Every time you speak to yourself with compassion instead of punishment. Every time you tell yourself the truth, even when it hurts. That is the kind of courage that builds a firm mind and a light heart. But there is something even deeper you need to hear. The reason your mind feels so heavy is not because you are weak, but because you're still carrying old versions of yourself that no longer belong to you. You have grown, you have changed, you have evolved, but you're still living according to beliefs of a self that no longer exists. And your mind is simply trying to warn you. You no longer fit in that skin. You no longer belong to that mold. You no longer belong to that life. That's why you feel restless. That's why you feel something is missing. That's why you feel there is more, even if you don't know what it is yet. Because yes, there is more, much more, and you're beginning to sense it. And now we arrive at the most important point. Listen to this slowly, because this kind of truth can change your life if you truly understand it. Clarity does not appear before you move. Clarity appears as you move. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. That day never comes. Life doesn't reward thinking. Life rewards movement. You don't transform your mind with intention. You transform it with action. When you move, fear loses ground. When you move, the mind organizes itself. When you move, the version of you you've been searching for finally appears. Move, even if you feel clumsy. Move even if you feel slow. Move even if it hurts. Move even if you doubt. Move even if you can't see the end of the path. Because movement is the only thing that breaks inertia. The only thing that orders your inner chaos. The only thing that turns anxiety into clarity, doubt into strength, noise into purpose. And here's the revelation that marks the turning point. You're not trying to become someone new. You're trying to return to who you were before the world filled you with fear, pressure, and noise. Peace is not a destination. It's a return to your essence, to your soul, to your truth. And if these words are hitting something inside you, if you feel something moving in your chest, if you feel this message is not a coincidence, then listen closely. If this message touched you, subscribe. Not for me, for you. Because if something in all of this resonated with you, it's because you are ready. Ready for real change. Ready to stop living on autopilot. Ready to listen to your life, not just survive it. Ready to turn your mind into your ally instead of your prison. Now take a deep breath once more. And let me leave you with one last reflection I want you to carry with you. Life is always speaking to you. Sometimes softly, sometimes painfully, sometimes through anxiety, but it always speaks. And you decide whether you listen or keep postponing it. What you're seeking is already seeking you, but it needs to find you moving, awake, present, willing. Do what your future self will thank you for. Move, act, choose, let go. Organize yourself, reinvent yourself, but above all, return to yourself.